Hello everyone. In the previous video, when we were discussing the birth month of the promised Messiah of the Lord, I shared with you this slide about harvest times in Israel, in ancient Israel. However, I only showed to you a glimpse of it, and we mainly focused on the 6th month. In this video, I would like for us to take a comprehensive look at harvest time in Israel and this calendar, and we are going to compare it to the original Islamic calendar that existed at the time of the Prophet. So, my goal with this video is for those who have watched my previous videos. I know some of you have watched my previous videos about the calendar, so you're probably very well versed in it. So my goal is to strengthen your heart, to solidify your heart. I want you to have no doubt about the original Islamic calendar and what we discussed previously. And for those of you who have not watched my previous videos about the calendar, about the original divine calendar. Again, there's no Jewish calendar, there's no Islamic calendar, there's no Christian calendar. There's only one calendar, and that is the divine calendar that has existed from the time of Adam up until now. Now, Satan comes after each prophet and usually deviates that, changes that calendar and to the lunar calendar. So I'm hoping that this video, this Quranic lesson, in fact, actually this calendar lesson, I should say, will spark interest for those of you who don't know about the calendar, so they can actually go research and learn more. I will put the link to my calendar videos. Everything you need to know about the divine calendar is there. Everything. So if you watch those videos, you're going to be experts at knowing the divine calendar of our Creator, the calendar that our Creator prescribed for us. So I highly encourage all of you to watch those. Again, if you are Christian, if you are a Jew, you have to know this calendar. This is your original calendar. So let's get started on discussing the harvest time in Israel. So I'm going to start reading from here. It says the agricultural year, and this is really important. So really, calendar in the old days, it was based on agriculture. Remember, they didn't have a lot of things that we have nowadays. So everything was literally based on agriculture. So you had an agricultural year, and an agricultural year requires an agricultural calendar. After the harvest festival of tabernacles, when does that happen? That happens in the 7th month, which is the first month of fall. So wheat plowing and sowing. So at starting the 7th month, which is the first month of fall or autumn, people would used to start plowing the land and sowing. And then harvests, which is when you actually get the fruits in Israel, begin in spring. So you start plowing and sowing with starting the 7th month to get the land ready. And then you start doing the harvests in Israel in spring in the month of Adar, which is equivalent to what we call February, March. And I'm not going to go through the rest of it. So without further ado, let's start with the first month in that agricultural year. So the first month is the month of Aviv, which is our first month, right? It's between March and April. So this is when the barley harvest begins. In Islamic months, we call this Rabi ul Awwal. It means first month of spring. The second month is basically when barley harvest is completed. It's April and May. In Islamic calendar, we call it Rabi al-Thani. It means the second month of spring. The third month, which is between May and June, this is when the wheat harvest begins. And in Islamic months, we call it what? Jumad al-Awwal. It means literally the same thing. Dry season means dry land. So I want you to pay attention. These are the exact same thing. So basically, Jumad al-Awwal means the first dry land, which means dry season in the explanation here, correct? So now let's go back. We went through 3 months. Let's go back to the Islamic calendar, look at it together. So again, you can see the first month of the spring, the first spring, second month, Rabi al-Thani, or the second month of the spring, and third month, Jamadi al-Awwal, which means the first parched or dry land. And with that, our first month of spring is over. So at this point, we are at the fourth month and summer starts. So this is the season of when wheat harvest is completed and first figs start coming out. In the Islamic calendar, we call this month Jumadi al-Thani. It means the second dry land, or just the second dry month, the second dry season. Then we go to the fifth month, which is between July and August. This is the summer heat. And what do we have here? I want you to pay attention. We have vintage grape harvest begins. So what do we call that in the Islamic calendar? Rajab. What is the meaning of Rajab? It's when you start the grape harvest, when they start trellising the grape. So you can see the exact same thing. This is exactly the same, because that region is just so small and so close. Everything happens at the same month. So again, the grape harvest, you have over the Rajab, which is the season of, again, grape harvest. They start trellising the grapes, and the grape harvest starts over there, fifth month. And we're going to look at that together as well. And then we have the sixth month, which is date harvest. And this is obviously the birth of the Messiah. So I'm going to put the name here. So this is the month of the birth of the Messiah. You also have the summer figs. In Islamic calendar, we call it Sha'aban. So let's go look at the season of summer in Islamic calendar together. Again, what do you have? Jumadi al-Thaniya. It means the second parched or dry land. And then you have Rajab. What was Rajab? It told us it was grape harvest. And here again, you have the same thing in Islamic calendar. Rajab means grapes trellising. Trellising or supporting something means is Rajab. And then the third month of summer is Sha'aban, is when the Messiah was born and is scattered and dispersed to look for water. So let's look at the third season of the year, and that is a fall season. So this is where things become very interesting, and I want you to pay attention to this. So seventh month, they call it the month of Tishri. Right now, this is September and October. And what does it say for it? Can you read this? First rains. This is the month of first rains. Now, what does first rains mean in Arabic? Can anyone venture a guess? What is the exact same word in Arabic for first rains? Well, singular is ramad. That means first rain. Plural is Ramadan. Means first rains. So does it make sense? I want to make sure you all understand Ramadan. This is in that region, the seventh month from ancient times. This calendar is for the time of Jesus. It has been the month of first rains, or the month of Ramad or Ramadan. Ramadan means first rains. And Ramaz means is a singular form, first rain. And this is the season where plowing begins. So now you start getting ready. Remember, at this time, by seventh month, all the harvest has been done. So seventh month in ancient culture, if you go way back thousands of years, even today in areas in China and Persia, they still still celebrate the seventh month as the month of Thanksgiving. Why? Because the harvest is done. They have received all the food. They have harvested all the fruits, fig, grape, and dates, and all the good barley, all of it at this point. So this was from the ancient time. This is a time when people would have Thanksgivings, ceremonies during the seventh month to thank the Lord, to thank our Creator for what our God, our Creator, Allah, Yahweh, all good names belong to Him, are the one who created us, has given us through the provision of the earth, right, for all these delicious fruits. So this has been a month of thanksgiving and celebration from the ancient times. I want you to keep that in mind. As you can see, it's the month of first rain. It's to the point. Now, the second month of fall, they call it the month of Heshwan. I really don't want to deal with the names, but this is where plowing and grain planting. So now they start actually planting the grain. In Arabic, we call this Shawwal, right? Then you have the ninth month, which is the ninth month of Kislev. Again, you are still planting the grains. This is where the forbidden or sacred months start, and in Arabic we call that Zulqa'dah, or possessor of the truth. Now let's go look at the season of fall in Islamic calendar together. Okay, so you can see again Ramadan. What does it mean? First rains. This is exactly what you saw at number 7 over there as well, correct? So I want you to keep that in mind. Ramadan, first rains at the end of summer and beginning of fall. So that's what they call Ramadan. And then we did talk about Shawwal, which means raised, because female camels would normally be in calf at this time of the year. And then you have the Zulqa'dah, again, possessor of truth, or seeing at basically this was a sign. This name, basically everyone in that region would know that, okay, so all the wars are supposed to cease at this point. So it's safe. So people will start traveling in this month. And most of the pilgrims would get there by this time. But this is the time when it starts. So now at this point, the season of winter starts. So let's go look at that. So this is the 10th month. This is calls the main rains. In Islamic calendar, we call it Zulhijjah. It means possessor of pilgrimage, which is the first month of winter. And then and you have the 11th month. This is what we call Muharram. And then you have the 12 months. This is February, March. This is the spring rains. And it says almond in bloom, flax harvest. This is what we call in Islamic calendar as Safar. Let's look at the month of winter, the season of winter, and the 3 months in it in the Islamic calendar. So again, very quickly, you have Zulhijjah, month number 10, possessor of pilgrimage, Muharram, which means forbidden, and you have Safar, which means void. Why do you have void? You have to have this, because this first month announces the ceasefire, announces that, oh, this is it, the 4 forbidden months when you cannot do any wars in them. These are the 4 months of peace and truce start here. So that's an announcement. Here you have the exact same thing. Now this is an announcement that, okay, truce is about to become void. So this is the last month, and next month, so what happens? Kings go to war. So basically wars start in the next month, which is Rabiul Awwal, first month of the spring. So that's why you have an announcement up here, you have an announcement down here as well. It's telling you that's void. Basically, the months of truce and ceasefire are about to become void, and these are the last 4 months of the year. So we did look at the season of winter as well. I am sorry if you found this video boring, because I have made so many videos about the calendar that I think you all know the calendar probably much better than I do, at least the ones who have been watching my videos. But it's just, I want to make sure, I want to strengthen your hearts. In Arabic, it says, أريد أن أربط على قلوبكم. Quran has a verse about فَرَبَطْنَا عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ. It means basically you strengthen, you make your heart strength as 100% sure. I want you to know that the calendar that I shared with you, the calendar that I taught here in this channel, a solar calendar, 12 months, 365 days. And I actually showed in a video how that has to be calculated and everything. So that is the true divine calendar that has existed from the time of Adam up until today. And it's still there. You can see at the time of Jesus, they were doing the same calendar. Unfortunately, our enemy, Iblis, the devil, Lucifer, the Satan, that deceiver who deceives mankind, constantly tries to mess up this calendar and change this so that our religious ceremonies are confused. But thanks to our Creator, thanks to the one who created us, He is not going to allow that to happen anymore. That's why there's so much knowledge out there for those who want to follow it. Nothing is mandatory. Everything is obviously the law ikraha fi din. There's no compulsion. You can't force people to believe in anything. Everyone is free to believe in anything they want. But at least for the true believers, there's enough knowledge out there for them to be able to listen to the truth and make their own decision and follow the truth, inshallah, with Allah's help. But just as a quick summary, you just saw what we talked about Ramadan, the first rains. We talked about the drying season, which is the exact same thing. We also talked about the grape harvest and Rajab. So as you can see, everything is a perfect match. So peace and blessings to all of you. And inshallah, our Creator will guide us to an even better and more straightforward path than this. Peace and blessings to all of you.